Welcome back to another business-centric video on the 628 Dirt Rooster. Cop pulled up behind me. I had to see what he's doing. 628 Dirt Rooster membership section. Hey, can I have my Gatorade?
Yeah, I'm just concerned about swelling at my temple. I'm not kidding.
Oops. Tell me what just happened.
You told me to get it. I should probably want something on my head, and then you said turn and let me get your picture.
But I said you want something on your head.
All I did was step right outside the vehicle. I wanted to hear the hum. That's all I did. She was an angry girl.
She was angry. You won't get a black eye from that one.
I'm not worried about a black eye. It's the swelling I'm concerned about.
I'm worried about a black eye because if I walk right around with you with a black eye, people are going to think things.
They already think things.
Alright, I got to show y'all what we're looking at. But to do that, I'm going to put a hood on because I know better. All the way to the top of that tree. All the way. Alright, I'm headed back to the truck. I'm feeling bee poop raindrops and they're starting to gather around me. We got a special request from Phil at 33 Mile Bees to talk about cameras, specifically the DJI Action 4. Now, a lot of you are shooting videos for Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or some other platform where you're showcasing your products, you're teaching, showcasing your services, or entertaining, or whatever it may be. And Phil was asking specifically about the DJI Action 4 and why I chose it. So I'm doing a quick video showing you some of the pros and cons of this, as well as other action cameras, as opposed to cell phones or anything other, any other cheaper option. I'll say cell phones are not cheaper, but I'll tell you why they're gonna be cheaper for you if that's something you can use.
What do you think everybody at home?
Well, Elizabeth got stung already. In the temple.
So is she down for the count now?
No, she's holding my Gatorade on her head.
Oh.
She said once it stops throbbing, she'll put her suit on and get out.
I got one right in the jugular this morning, and it was one of them that just about brings you to your knees.
Oh, yeah.
Come to check on you. Doing all right?
You want to shut that door? Now you got me. Out.
DJI Action 4, the whole package was about $400, but it came with about a 5-foot selfie stick, 3 batteries, a battery pack, and can't remember what else. But the 3 batteries in the battery pack are incredibly useful. You can fit all 3 in your pocket, and you're probably not going to use all 3 batteries on any single day. The 5-foot selfie stick, I didn't think I would use it, but I have used the fool out of that thing. So I did order a couple of extras, and 2 of them I'm using right now. One is the small rig cage, and one is the Ulanzi suction cup mount. And I'll turn on my phone and video that real quick for you. I've got the camera upside down right now, but you can see that it has a front screen and it has a rear screen. You're looking at the front screen right now. And this is the Ulanzi suction cup mount that really I'm talking about is phenomenal. and the small rig cage. These are aluminum machined. This is the access door to the battery and the SD card, which is really nice compared to GoPro. You have to unscrew it from the mount, or the last GoPro I had you did. This also has a mount for a 1/4 thread on the side and on the top and on the bottom, as well as quick connects. So this has a magnetic quick connect on the side and the bottom, and you can look at DJI's quick connect mounts and see what that is. But this is a screw-on mount. This thing is so solid that if I put this on the door glass, no kidding, I could probably pull the door glass out of the truck with it. So I have driven down the road at 75 miles an hour with this thing mounted on the side of the truck, nervous, but watching, and it never moved, and it did great footage. So the pros, and the reason I bought this camera to begin with, are the sensor size and the audio quality. It has, in my opinion, the best audio quality of any action camera on the market. And you're listening to native audio right now. I don't have an external mic or anything hooked to it. Just sitting in the truck's running, air conditioner's running. There it is with the truck shut off. That, and then the primary reason overall was the large sensor. It has a larger sensor size than any other action camera on the market, which means it shoots better low light video. And so if you see a lot of low light video from GoPro or any other action camera, it's going to be fairly pixely, kind of noisy footage, and visibly noisy, meaning it's grainy looking. And this camera performs better than any other action camera on the market in low light. I'm not going to edit the video or the audio at all on this. It's a overcast day, but I've got plenty of light here, so you're seeing me in fairly good light. So those were the two primary reasons that I wanted this camera. And I've shot a lot over the years with my cell phone. This is an iPhone. This is an iPhone 11 Pro Max. It does good video and it does good audio. But if I drop that in a bucket of dirty water or in some honey or something, and all that gets in the charging port and the speakers and everything on it, I've just wasted a $1,200, $1,300 phone. I don't know what these things go for these days, because this one's long since paid for. But if I destroy this camera, and it's washable, but if I accidentally destroy this camera, that's $400. So I can afford that loss over this. But do you really need a $400 action camera? Or in my case, with the suction cup mount and the cage and the extra quick connects, and I have a lot of extra mounts that I use, tripods and things that you can use with a cell phone. You can even use the suction cup mount with a cell phone. You just have to get a cell phone mount for it. Do you really need this though? The data storage on it is impossibly large. It's crazy. You got to have external hard drives for the storage on this thing. Most of you will probably never shoot as much video as I shoot, but if you're storing video from an iPhone, you can store a ton of videos on an iPhone. You can keep them on the phone, or you can store them on a computer. Most computers will handle just an immense amount of videos from an iPhone. But when you get into the action camera market, the storage, the data on it is so, the files are so large that you need an external device. If your computer holds half a terabyte or a full terabyte, even a single terabyte will fill up pretty fast. I have picked the worst place to come video. This truck next to me has got a little girl. She's probably 11 years old. She's sitting there drawing pictures of kitty cats and sneaking vapes while her dad's in the store. That's another thing to consider. So not only do you have the camera, you're going to have to buy external hard drives. You're going to have to buy some extra mounts. So all in, camera, drives, extra mounts, you can probably be into a decent action camera, GoPro, DJI, any of the others for $700 or $800 for everything. Now, how you shoot really you can do 1080 on any of these cameras, so you should be able to edit the footage on just about any computer these days. But when you get into 2.6K or 4K or anything above that shooting, you're gonna have to have a computer that will handle that. And so I shoot almost everything in 4K, and my computers will handle 4K editing, but they're not cheap computers. So you got to consider, you know, what are your needs? Do you really need an action camera that shoots 4K, or can you do everything on your cell phone that you already have, that you're already paying for, or it's already paid for? It'll shoot 4K, it'll shoot 1080, it'll shoot 720, it'll do time lapse, it'll do almost everything that this camera will do. And all you gotta do is buy the mounts for it. You're already there. You can do, you know, probably half the videos on my channel were shot with an iPhone. So before action cameras, most of everything I did was with an iPhone. Now occasionally I'll have footage from my Nikons or my Fujis or something like that, but that is so seldom, because I don't want to bring expensive cameras out on a job and ruin them with sheetrock dust or honey, or, you know, anything that gets in the lens and the slides of a zoom lens or something. I don't want to have to deal with that. DJI Action 4, I'm proud of my purchase. I'm happy with it. It's done well. It hasn't dropped footage like the GoPro did, and it hasn't overheated like the GoPro did. So the GoPro every once in a while would drop audio or video clips. This one hasn't done that. And when you do one take shots like I do, if I'm opening a wall or something and all it did was record the audio, that's a wasted the most important part of the video. Or if it only shows the video and it drops the audio, and now I've got to do a voiceover or do some kind of creative editing, it's a headache that I don't want to deal with, and I haven't had to deal with it with this camera because it's been fabulous in that regard. I haven't found any real drawback other than the fact that I have to zoom in anytime I do a talking head segment, and there's a lot more pros to this camera that I'm not going to go over because I'm just giving you the basics right now. But this camera has a front and rear screen on it. I like that it gives you a battery percentage up there. If you wanted to know what the battery percentage is, there it is. And here's how you zoom in, zoom out. The bad thing with this camera is when you start shooting, it's already zoomed out, so it's giving you the tiny head syndrome unless you do the Instagram angle, and then it's probably not bad. But when I'm sitting back in my truck, I have to zoom into 1.6. So I'm used to doing that step, and it's nothing to me. It's really simple. I touch the screen, bring it up to 1.6, I'm zoomed in. It looks pretty normal, looks good enough. And it's another step. That's probably the biggest drawback for me, is having to zoom in every time I do a talking head segment. But if I'm filming anything else out in front of me, the wide angle is fine. There's no problem with that.
We tried to
See, like that picture I sent you the other day, you know?
Yeah.
There was more on the tree.
If we shake those limbs right there, they're gonna snap.
That's why I said you're ready to drop a limb on your truck. Boom. Because they would definitely break off.
Even the recoil from if the bees dropped off, the limb would probably snap going back the other way.
Now they're way up in the tree now. Before they weren't in the tree.
Oh, they're all with the trunk.
Hey man, how you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Not too bad.
Queen's looking good?
Yeah, the green cells.
Yeah.
It looks better this year.
It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, I'm gonna start splitting my cell builders. The what I don't need it more.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use again. So I'm start splitting. Look at how high they are.
I see that.
So
Look at that pile of bees on that tree behind them.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's looking good. It's gonna be a really good year, I think.
I wish. I hope so, because we need a lot of. We need to make a lot of notice, a lot of split.
Yeah.
You know, look at this one.
You got to make up about 10,000, huh?
Yeah, 12.
12,000.
And we got to split again up to the north.
Yeah. Hey, where's you got any green tags or blue tags?
From Brandy from last year?
Yeah, from last year.
Yeah, I get some ones in my breeder, and I already grabbed from them,
Did you?
from her, from last year.
Yeah. How'd they do?
They do pretty good, and they are gentle.
That's the Randy Queen from last year we're talking about. It was one that I brought them to graft off of, and I think y'all got 8,000 grafts off of her. Is that right?
Yeah, probably more.
Really?
And now, this year, somebody, Larry, somebody give us one queen to graft. And it's this one. It's this one.
Oh yeah, Larry Williams.
Larry what?
Williams.
Williams, yeah, him. So it's this queen, and she's like really, it's pretty.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, and it's like, it's got good color, you know.
Yeah.
And she laying pretty good. Now she started laying like awesome. I think I already graphed like 4,000 out of her. Look at
There
her.
she is.
There she is.
Nice.
She's really nice. And she laying pretty good, and she got like 2 years old.
She's 2 years old?
Yeah, she's 2 years old. He said that.
Yeah.
And I believe, but she's still laying pretty good. The bloom is pretty good. It's just started, you know. They're making a lot of honey now.
Oh, you got one of those cages in there.
It's different one. It's an excluder just for one.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of. It's too tight. It's a lot of complicated.
Yeah, that is tight.
It's too tight. I don't like.
If that queen's on the edge, she's gonna get rolled.
And you can squish her. You gotta be like really slow and gentle to pull it out. Probably I already squished her.
I hope not. Hopefully she's on the frame or the queen excluder.
Maybe she get out. Sometimes she get out. Oh, there she is.
Oh
Right
yeah, there you
here.
go.
Yeah. Let's see how she's laying. No, she got room. Yeah, she's laying over here. But she got a lot of room to lay. So just go slow, baby. Just gotta go slow, like you were doing like surgery or something. Like
Oh yeah. There it is. My opinion on DJI. I'm happy with it. It does great. Haven't had any problems with it. That's the only problem with it is the zoom in and out. Having to do that to shoot in the truck. There we have the DJI Action 4 talk. If you have any other questions, ask them in the comments. I'd be glad to answer. Thank y'all. We did come to a conclusion. It was kind of unspoken, but I don't think anybody's really moving too fast to make anything happen.
So what is the conclusion?
I think we're gonna either come back another day this coming week.
If it's still here.
If it's still here. But next year for sure, I will be ready for this season, and we'll do a super impressive swarm shake.
In a time lapse.
And a time lapse would be interesting.
Yeah. Especially when I start to see it, because you could just see it as like a tornado gonna start. Well, there they go. They jump right on there.
I don't know if the aliens got them or what.
The last three I lost. Not a feather in sight. And as a matter of fact, I was in North Mississippi visiting with my mom and my sister. Came back and he had let them out when I got home. And I have one with a bomb leg now and missing my favorite frizzle.
I thought maybe the Migos got hungry and called my chickens off. They're like, no, they were here Sunday.
You look extra tall in that suit.
Do I? I figured I look extra wide in this suit. You like them chunky? I can't do the handstands though. I'd be rolling on the ground.